Good morning, everyone. I am Drake Inard R. Flaviano, your reporter for this morning. So, before we start in our discussion, let's have a simple motivation. So, before we start in our simple motivation, I will explain to you what's the mechanics of our motivation. So, I will read to you the sentence before you answer. So, are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So the first word is this. The return of information, opinions, or reactions about a paper's performance, a product, or a process.
Feedback.
Okay, very good. So next is to make something better or to get better in quality, condition, or value. It involves taking something from a satisfactory or poor state to a more desirable, advanced, or excellent one.
Improve.
Yes, very good. The last one is the active process of acquiring new knowledge, skills, values, or behavior. It results in a relatively permanent change in how you understand the world or perform tasks, driven by experiences, study, or instruction.
Learning.
Okay, very good. So our topic for today is all about feedback and improved learning. So learning is a two-way process. The teacher and the students both learn during and after the instruction through feedback. This lesson will guide you in understanding the importance of providing constructive feedback in developing the students' learners and achievement. The objective of these lessons are the following. Number one, discuss how constructive feedback improves students' learning. Number two, critique teachers' feedback on a sample, students, and number three, observe how teachers give feedback to students' performance. So, education theory. Indeed, it is more important that the teachers encourage and support each student by giving constructive feedback. So, as a teacher, one of the most important thing is to give feedback to our students so that they will improve their mistakes and to improve their works to their next activities. Moreover, the learners must be given feedback about their performance. Feedback must be specific. Good work is a positive feedback and it's not, but actually it's not a very good feedback since it is not specific. A better and more specific feedback includes written observation and comments of the teachers on how the learners can improve their work. So, like what I said earlier, um, feedback is most important to a teacher to give to their students. Not all teachers say their feedback, but also they write it under paper. For example, uh, we pass an essay to our teachers, and the teachers give feedback to writing it on our paper. So, do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So the following is a checklist for giving feedback. Keep the time short and students writing and the feedback. Where possible, makes feedback instantaneous. So as a teacher, we should give feedback to the students on the spot. For example, our students are performing the role play. So if our students done uh, by the role play, we should give feedback to them. Um, Positive feedback and a negative feedback, but constructive feedback. So they can improve their role play for their next lesson. Number two, substantiate a grade or mark with comments both in the text for specific aspects with a written summary at the end. For example, if our students pass their written activities, we also graded it and we give feedback beside their grade so that they can improve what their mistakes and um, be more good at their activities. Number three, balance negative comments with positive ones and ensure that negative ones are constructive. So, like what I said earlier, if we give a negative feedback to our students, we should give positive feedback to our students. The negative feedback is not the negative one, but a constructive feedback so that they can improve their learning skills and their knowledge. Number four, follow up written comments with an oral feedback and aim for a dialogue. So, like what I said in the number two, um, we give we give a feedback to our students through writing it under paper, and and for that we can talk to our students what they part they are struggling, and we and to help them on the part that they cannot do it well. Number five, make the criteria clear to students when setting the work and give them written criteria where possible. When we give criteria to our students, it should be simple and clear so that the students will absorb it easily and to avoid confusion to the students to work on their activities. Number six, further suggestion to further development ideas. So as a teacher, we should also give some ideas to our students um, to enhance their learning capabilities. Number seven, give periodic oral feedback on rough drafts. For example, if our student passed their draft of their works and after checking it, we should tell them what to needs improvement or need to be fixed. So class, do you understand the seven checklists for giving feedback to our students?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let's go to the conclusion. Lack of time is one of the biggest challenges that teachers face on a regular basis, and this especially impact feedback opportunities. You may know exactly what you want to tell your students about their work, but with time constraints and a potentially high volume of students, it can be difficult to give them the feedback they need. With this in mind, make it your goal to work smarter, not harder. Do not try to spend more time than you already do on feedback. Instead, make the effort to optimize your time. So, as a teacher, we should manage our time so that we can give feedback to our students. We should be more responsible in our time management, and so that we can give the students the feedback that they need. So, that's all, and thank you.